All right, guys. So we're back from the break with the Zoom. So as I was saying, so first thing is to be able to label the triangle correctly. So based on the 90-degree angle, so we see that that angle has to be the angle B. So we would label our triangle in this way. Now, where we have this vertex A should be at the this capital letter A should be right at the tip of the vertex of the triangle. Just see with that little displacement there. So what we are saying now, in terms of the formula, we would have to write the formula based on the longest side. So the formula always starts with the longest side, and the longest side is labeled with B. So the formula has to start with the side which is the longest, which is the hypotenuse. So from the formula, we would have B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared. And once you have written the formula in the correct order, and note students, that is very important. If you use the wrong sides to start the formula, you're going to get it wrong. So make sure that your hypotenuse is the side that you use to start the formula. So our hypotenuse is the side AC. It is labeled B because it is opposite to the 90 degrees angle. And at that vertex, you have capital letter B. And by convention, the side which is opposite to that angle must take the common letter. So this side would take the common letter B. And so the hypotenuse would be B. So we write out the Pythagoras theorem starting with B. So we have B squared equal to A squared plus C squared. Now we know what A is and we know what C is, but in the formula, these values are squared. So we have to put in these values and square them in the formula. And then now, having worked out what the squares are of these numbers using a calculator, we will get 17.64 for 4.2 square. We'll get 13.69 for 3.7 square. And next, we're going to add the two values. So we know that B squared would be equal to that. Now, in terms of solving for B,
Get rid of the find the square root.
what we would have to do is to get rid of the square root. Now, one of the things about equations, when we are solving, in this case, we want to get rid of this square root. So to cancel out this square, we want to get rid of the square rather. So in order to get rid of this square, we have to do the opposite of squaring, and the opposite of squaring is finding the square root. Go ahead, Ms. Wason.
Sir, where did you get the 13.69 from?
Well, actually, it's supposed to be a calculation of 3.7 square. So if you check it and you get something different, that means the calculation. But you would
sir.
You would have multiplied 3.7 times 3.7. You should get this. Likewise, you would multiply 4.2 times 4, and you get that. And next you would add. All right. So with that said, now, what next you would have to do here is to do the opposite of squaring. What is the opposite of squaring?
Find the square root.
Finding the square root.
And if you do to one side, you have to do to the other side.
We're doing that to both sides. So if we are square rooting this side, it's an equation. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. So square root the left-hand side, and then square root the right-hand side. Now what happened over on the left-hand side, the square root symbol cancels with the square. So all you're left with here is now just B squared on the left-hand side. The square would have canceled. So just B on the left-hand side. And then now this side would be the square root of 31.3 rather, 3. And then now you can use your calculator to work that out. And then now you will get the answer
5.6.
to be that. All right.
Yes, sir.
So depending on, all right, one rule of thumb is that your answers might give you different number of decimal places than what you're working with in the question. If you notice the sides that were given in this question, they are rounded off to 1 decimal place. Right, so for C, you only have 3.7. For A, you have 4.2. So each of these rounded off to 1 decimal place. So one rule is that you round off your answer to 1 decimal place as well. So if you round off to 1 decimal place, then if you remember anything about rounding off, you want to round off to 1 decimal place, you want to round off to this 5 here. Investigate the number that comes after that 5. It is greater or equal to 5. You add 1 to the number here that you're rounding off to. So 9 is greater than 5. That means you have to add 1 to this 5. And so if you round this off to 1 decimal place, you will get 5.6. All right. And as I said, because you're working with values in the question of 1 decimal place, so your answer, you should give it in 1 decimal place. So this would be 5.6 centimeters. So B here would be equal to 5.6 centimeters. Is that clear for everybody? All right, so 5.6 centimeter would be the length of B. Any question? All right, so if there's no question, let me see if you are able to do one of these on your own. All right, so here we have another question. So I want you to go through the same process. You're going to construct the right angle triangle. You're going to put in the sides that are given and the angle that is given. And then now you're going to label the other side and the angles that are not given in terms of their letters. All right, so I'm giving you just about probably 5 minutes to do this question. All right, guys.
Sir,
Finish, Mr. Lamar?
no, sir. Wouldn't side A be the unknown?
Well,
Because that would be opposite to the.
yeah, it not necessarily
Okay.
always have to be the unknown. All right.
All right, so a common letter and a capital letter don't have to be opposites.
No, they don't.
Okay, sir.
Mhm. Okay, Mr. Lamar, are you finished?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's give the authors a little time to complete theirs. Anybody else finished with this question? At least constructing the diagram. Anybody finished doing that? Okay, good. All right, so I'm just giving just a little bit more time for those persons who have not done so yet. Okay, I think most persons should at least complete the construction of a triangle. I want somebody else, apart from Lamar, to give me an idea how to construct a triangle and put in all the values that we are given. So just that aspect of it I want, the construction of a triangle. Anybody would like to go apart from Mr. Lamar?
Sure, sir. I'll go.
All right, so let me start off by giving you a triangle. Here we have a triangle. So what your task is to label the triangle and put in what you have.
Yes, sir.
All right. So walk me through the process.
You ready, sir?
Yep.
All right. So angle A would be the 90 degree.
All right, so we start off with a 90-degree angle, and that
Yes,
would
sir.
be angle A. Now,
Yes, sir.
we don't have to put in the 90-degree in the box here because the box by itself is sufficient to let you know that that's a 90-degree. All right.
Okay.
Continue.
All right. Then angle B, I put angle B, sir, at the top.
Okay.
And then C at the other. Right. Now, the right angle, which is opposite, or the hypotenuse, would be labeled as common A, with a measurement of 6.4 centimeter.
Everybody is clear on which side is opposite to the hypotenuse. All right, Miss Jamal.
Yes, sir. So why couldn't C be at the top and B?
Okay, so I was saying it earlier, maybe you came in late, that you can choose whichever angle to label B or C. But Mr. Lamar was saying that what you could use to help you is to look at the sides that are given. And if you are given either the opposite or adjacent, you could compare the length of them and choose whichever side has a longer length. But in this case, you're only given the hypotenuse in terms of length. So you could actually choose any of the other two, and so that you could switch around this if you may, Ms. Shamel. You could put angle C at the top and B down below. It would make a difference providing you follow the general rule of labeling the vertices opposite to their sides. All right. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
All right. Continue now, hello, Miss Waysome. Is Miss Waysome still there? Miss Waysome has challenges with our network. All right. Let me see. All right, Ms. Shamel, do you want to pick up from, do you want to give me your labeling of the triangle, Ms. Shamel? Until Ms. Waysome come back, then I'll give her a chance to do it again.
So I'll try.
All right. So here we go again. So starting off, what to start off with?
So the right angle triangle, it will be A.
Okay.
The hypotenuse side, which is the longer side, that will be common A. And it will be 6.4 centimeter. At the top, I have C,
Okay.
and the bottom, I have common capital B.
Let's wait some. Are you back?
Yes, sir.
All right, you'll be going back next. All right. Because I realized that you got kicked off. All right, continue, Ms. Shamel.
So common B will be right between C and A, sir.
Okay.
So that will be 5.2.
All right, so the side CA, because you can call this based on their vertices too as well. No? You can call it AC or you can call it CA, whichever way suits you. So that would give you based on the measurement here. So that would be 5.2.
Aisha.
5.2 centimeter. All right, continue. Ms. Shamel,
Yes, sir.
is that it?
So because we're finding C, sir, I'm just telling you how I have it, how I have mine.
No problem. Are you finished with the labeling?
So common C will be between A and B.
Okay, correct. Now, the thing is, we don't know what that common C value is. That's what they're asking us to find. So we can just put a question mark for C in terms of what C equals to. All right, so that's your labeling, which is okay, no problem. Ms. Waysom, you want to finish up now with your labeling? So I'll just backtrack to the 90 degrees, and then now you tell me where you're going from there. All right, so you did put in this already, Ms. Waysom. Ms. Waysom, are you there?
Yes, sir.
And you did label this one as what? The one at the
B.
top as B. And so this one down here would automatically become C.
C. Yes, sir.
All right, continue.
And then the opposites from angle B down to the bottom, sir, would have the lowercase b
All
with
right,
the measurement of 5.2.
So the side AC now going to be B because your angle B is at the top.
Yes, sir.
So B is equal to
5.2. And then opposite angle from C would be C, right? Over the other side.
AC, sorry, AB would be the side.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what C is, so we would put a question mark. All right. So these are the two possible ways in which you could label a triangle. And there's nothing wrong with any of the way that that you choose. So from there now, all you need to do next is to write the formula in the correct order. So as you're at it, Ms. Waysom, do you want to give me the formula?
B squared equals A squared plus C squared, sir.
All right. Think about it again. When I was saying earlier that when you're writing the formula, you should pay attention to what?
Oh yes. So it would be A squared, sir. Sorry.
All right. So your formula would be now what?
A squared equal to B squared plus C squared.
Exactly. So that's correct. So A squared is equal to B squared plus C squared. And so that is something that you have to try to get in the correct order to ensure that you get it correct. If you write this in the wrong order, everything that comes after will be incorrect. All right, so with that said, once you have written out the formula in the correct order, the rest is just substitution. You substitute the values that you are given in the formula. So what would be the substitution here? All right, let me just, all right, go ahead. Miss Waysome, you want to continue or you want to give somebody else a chance?
Give somebody else a try, sir.
All right. All right, let me see if I can find out from somebody who has not gone yet. Miss Brown, would you like to try? Miss Brown, you're taking too long to respond. Miss Caveira, would you like to try?
So work it out as C squared equals A squared minus B squared.
Okay, so it means that you would have written the formula incorrectly. Do you know why it would have been incorrect?
No.
Right, because when you're writing the formula, you have to look at the triangle and see which side is the hypotenuse. Because the formula always starts off with the side which is the hypotenuse. Right? So in this triangle, because the A is at the 90 degrees, that means the common letter A will be the hypotenuse. And so you have to start the formula with that common letter A. Is that clear, Miss Cabrera? Miss Cabrera?
Yeah.
Okay, so that is clear. All right, so anybody else want to walk me through the process? Miss Montgomery? Are you there? Would you like to try? All right, so no response from you. So Mr. Bartley. Mr. Bartley, would you like to try?
I don't think so. I cannot join late.
Okay. All right, Miss Cabrera, you still there?
So
So I was saying now, do you want to continue from the formula?
yes.
Okay, all right. So walk me through what you would now have in the formula, because you would now substitute whatever value you're given in the question in the formula. And the values that you're substituting is based on the sides. All right, so walk me through it.
6.4 squared
So we'll start off with 6.4 squared equal to
equal to 5.2 squared
5.2 squared
plus
plus
C
C squared. All right, and what we're actually trying to find is the value of C. So what are we going to do to get the value of C?
Are we going to minus the 6.2 square minus 5.2 square?
Okay, so you can approach this from different points of view. One of the things that you could do, you could actually continue down with the values in the same order and work out the square term. And when you reach to the end, you can rearrange the equation so that C is by itself. So that's one way. You could probably try to rearrange it from now so that C is on one side by itself and the values are on the other side. So whichever way you choose is based on what your preference is. So which way you want to go, Ms. Cabrera?
Put the square equals, and then I put the values.
All right, so you're going to rearrange it now. All right, so what you're bringing on which side? Explain.
The square is going to bring to the left.
Remember, all of them are squares, you know. So I'm just asking, you're putting all the values on the left-hand side.
Or just C is going to be on the left.
All right. So we want to solve for C square, but remember when you're solving for C square, you want to have C by itself on one side of the equation. So in order to do that, whatever is on that side with the C must go to the other side. All right, Ms. Cabrera?
Yeah.
All right, so we can choose now to bring this 5.2 square to the other side. So we could write back the 6.4 square. Then now, if we bring this 5.2 to the other side, remember if it is positive on one side, you bring it to the other side, it becomes negative. So this becomes negative 5.2. Oops, sorry. And that will give you C square. All right, continue from there.
0.4 square equals 40.96.
So this is 40.96.
Yes.
Okay. And the other one is
27.04.
27.04. And of course, that will be equal to C square. All right, continue now.
But I got 13.92, which may feel so wrong because wouldn't A be the longest?
So if you subtract 27 from 27.04 from 40.96, you say your answer was what?
92.
13.92. 92. All right. All right. Before we go any further, did anybody get that to be the same?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all, Miss. Okay.
Miss
Mr.
Waysome, sir.
Miss Waysome. All right. Anybody else apart from Mr. and Miss Waysome? Mr. Lamar? That's what you got?
So then you'd have to find the square root.
Okay, but I was just checking to see whether or not you get C squared to be 13.92. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, so from here now, you square root both sides of the equation. And so you know when you square root this side, it will cancel. The square root sign will cancel with the square and square root this side. So in other words, you will get square root of 13.92 equal to C. And once you reach down here, you can always flip around the equation. You can put C on the left-hand side, and you can write square root of 13.92 on the right-hand side. All right, so you can flip once you're closer to the end. That's the best time to flip, because sometimes flipping can be confusing if you try to do it further up in the solution process. All right, so what you get now from this as your answer? C is equal to what?
So 3.7.
3.7 centimeters. Now, don't forget your units. I know sometimes